So now that you're kind of in this role, do you view artists and potential artists that you're going to sign? Do you view them differently
Oh my gosh.
now that you're on this side of the fence? I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, okay. So now you're kind of looking at them like obviously they have raw talent, obviously they're cool, but they also need to be a culture fit. They need to be
Mm,
an asset to the label. They need to carry the energy that supports what we were just talking about right there, right? They can't be
yeah.
super egotistical and like what's in it for me kind of thing. Maybe I don't mean to put words in your
No,
mouth,
no.
but like how expand on that for me. How are you viewing
That's
it
a
from
great
that side?
question.
Yeah.
For me, the best way that I can answer that is how my mentality has shifted towards this because it's been a complete shift of mind for me. I think a lot of times when I'm hired on to be a producer or songwriter on a project, my job is to solve the problem of how do I make this idea viable in the span of 3 days. So someone comes to me and they're like, "All right, I got this song or this idea. I want to finish it out with you." And right, my brain immediately goes to, "Okay, cool. I need to hire this person. I need to get this person on it. I need to record these tracks. I need to get this. I need to get this great vocal." All in the span of a very small amount of time. I mean, 3 days is typically my typical workflow for production, but there's times where someone flies in, I've got 6 hours and I've
Wow.
got to finish it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And we'll maybe exchange mix notes after for a couple days, but it's got to be quick because there's a release date and, whatever ends up being the case. That's not the case at all with people working in the label world. It is long scale. It's like,
Mhm.
how do you take an artist that you believe in and get them to song 18?
Nice.
Right? So it's like,
Yeah.
how do we tell the story of an artist growing from song one of you being a part of their role to song 18 and not having the expectation of song 18 on song one or
Right.
three or five or seven? It's just like looking at how an artist can develop. How can we get the vocal better on the next one? How can we get the right musicians to be a part of it? How can we find the right songwriter to be a part of the growth of this artist and tell that story publicly to fans so that they can follow along on the journey too. I mean, my favorite artists, I love looking back on their discography and hearing the growth. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Some of those records at the beginning that we thought were perfect when we were young, we see the artist grow
Yeah.
down the line and we're like, whoa, like obviously like their skill is developed or these songs have gotten so much better. And we still love the first releases, but if you're so focused on the immediate result of something, you oftentimes will never arrive at what you want.
Yeah.
And if my role as a producer is being called in to solve something quickly, my mind has always been racing in that format. So as soon as I started getting into the world of signing an artist and starting to figure out even songwriters how I can develop them to be writing the songs that they want to write, it's a lot of encouragement, it's a lot of patience, but it's also knowing, okay, what's the right card to play on this next song? What do we need to focus on? What do we need to make better? What do we need to highlight that's already there and beautiful and just needs to be dusted off a little bit?
Yeah.
So it's going from a mindset of very short scale problem solving to belief over a long scale. And that's been the biggest shift for me mentally. And I would have never thought of that had I not started the business.
God, that's beautiful, brother. Yeah, that's something I've been meditating on recently. So I love that you said that is and what I'm referring to is not being results driven, but more focused on the process of becoming and evolving.
Hmm.
Because if you're focused on the results, like you said, man, it's just it's not going to work
Right.
out probably because you're so preoccupied and disappointed and in a negativity cycle because that end result isn't happening fast enough. So
Right.
if you drop I mean, of course, you have visions and goals and things like that, but the process, the daily habits, and like the game of inches of just becoming uh, is awesome, man. So I love that you said that.
Yeah, man, that was a great question. I really enjoyed getting the answer to that.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Thank you.